Hello and welcome once again to the Dark Asylum podcast. I am the Storm, brother. I am the chosen one, Zach Winters. With me, as always, is the bastard from the north, Darkness.
Hello, everybody.
And with us, as always, the disappointing 8th season, Big Vicious.
Yep.
Insightful as always.
Jesus. This is going to start out great.
Oh, it's going to be a long episode now.
Longer than usual.
All right, we had some it's been kind of a slow news week this week, and I know Darkness, you haven't really been around technology that much, so probably going to touch on a couple of our stories and then go into our own personal top 10 favorite horror movies, since it's still the spooky month. In reality, it's going to end up being our top 30 horror movies because there's 3 of us, but, whatever.
Whatever.
You don't like it, get your own podcast. All right, so as far as, news stories go, only a couple things I could really think of just looking at everything is the Borat trailer released. Did you guys get a chance to see it?
No, I still haven't had a chance to see it yet.
V?
Is it?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Well, fuck. So, it kind of touches on what we talked about last week, where Borat was just too much of a sensation to do the types of pranks he did. So it's Sacha Baron Cohen doing Borat, but he has to wear different disguises now. But he's still got the Borat voice and the Borat mannerisms.
Okay.
Interesting. Do you ever find it weird, seeing him playing an actual role in a movie?
Yes.
Because I've seen him in other stuff, and it's still Borat. I saw him, I think it was Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd, he still did the Borat voice.
He was still doing the Borat voice, but he's singing on top of it all. It was just a trip for me to see him doing anything else.
Seeing him...
He's trying to do a legit role.
Yeah. Seeing him just be him is fucking weird.
Yeah. He's got a hot wife, too.
Yeah, that's weird. That kind of makes me that one part in the first Borat where he's got to have the sensor bar all the way down to his ankles. I don't think that's fake.
You wonder if that's got anything to do with Amy Adams. Or not Amy Adams. What's her name? Yeah, the one from Wedding Crashers.
His hot wife.
Yeah.
Other stuff real quick. It's we got 2 bummer news stories right here. Batman, Dune, Jurassic World 3 all moved to 2022 because of the stupid virus shit.
Yeah, it's like I say, I'm still waiting for things to start letting up so we can start doing things again.
Unfortunately, it's not. We're already going to go into a wave 2. I mean, they're already talking about how cases are spiking. I mean, Regal just shut down all its... Well, Thursday, they're shutting down all their theaters.
Oh, yeah, they're closing. The theaters are shut down, but they're bankruptcy. They're done.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It honestly breaks my heart that it's a very real possibility that movie theaters just aren't going to be a thing anymore, and that's something my daughter's going to remember as that thing we used to do back in the old days.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was
we talked
me
about
and Zach.
Before. Now, you and Zach, what?
That was me and Zach. That was our thing. We'd go to a movie, and the big thing was coming out, and it would be me and him, and we'd sit there in the theater. And now it's going to come to the point where it's nobody's going to have those memories. Yeah. Nobody's going to have those fun times. It's unless you go out and spend a great shit of money on a large TV, you're not going to get that experience.
Also, let's kind of specify that your son's name is Zach also. So people don't think that me and you are going on, you know, not saying I wouldn't go on a date with you, but.
Right.
But yeah, it's fucking tragic. Like, the movie theater was the place, like, where the fuck are you supposed to take a date now?
So Netflix and chill. That's what it's become. Hey, I'll rent a new release. You want to come on over?
See, that's how you always sealed the deal, though. Like,
you're gonna be like, "Hey, baby, I'll drop $30 on Mulan if you want to come over."
Shit.
Yeah. And then you'll be so depressed with the movie, you're not going to get any anyway.
It's not going to be as thrilling if you can't do the popcorn trick at home, though.
Yeah. Or you could just get a plastic bucket and, you know, it's your go-to.
Why are you just holding this plastic bucket here? Reach inside!
Come on, there's a popcorn down there, I swear.
You got to go in the very bottom, though.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I adored going to the movies. It was like a huge thing when I was a kid, you know, and I remember one of the first movies I remember going to was E.T.
Fuck your old.
Yeah, well, I think it was a re-release actually of E.T., but anyway, yeah, it's just losing the theaters and having it so it's going to be a kind of a niche thing. Instead of it being a normal way of going and seeing it, it's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird thing to deal
like,
with.
You're not going to be seeing new releases there because the little mom and pop theaters that are still going to be around probably aren't going to have enough money to afford like Disney new releases and shit.
Yeah, and it's going to suck too because a lot of the theaters are going to do that upscale, you know, bring you poutine fries at your reclining seat and charge you 3 times what you're already spending, because it's going to become like a glamorous, not a glamorous thing, but like an upscale thing to go to the theater.
Which, by the way, I've done that twice, and both times the food was like not that great.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times too, and it's just
depressing. I splurged for Avengers Endgame.
Nice.
And I went to a place like that, but there is one in Salem that just has the reclining seats that me and my daughter went to go see Dragon Ball Z Broly, or Dragon Ball Super Broly, sorry. And had big reclining seats and shit. That one was fun. But it doesn't bring you poutine and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there's it's kind of cool in Portland because we have a lot of those independent old theaters, but they're only playing like one movie. So the big one that I always like to go to is the Baghdad Theater. I went and saw Endgame there, and it's cool because it's like those old theaters that you used to see in movies where there's that upper level where you get a balcony. Yeah. And it always tripped me out because it's like, damn, this is old, you know? It's not like one of those mass-produced theaters where the seats bolt into the ground and they're just rows and rows and rows. And so, I mean, we still have things that we can do, but a lot of those other places that are just little podunk towns that have their multiplex, they're going to lose out.
And you could get those balcony seats and live in your lifelong dream of being Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah. This movie sucks.
I mean, what's this world coming to? First, they took driveway theaters away from us, except for one in Salem or in Newburgh.
One in Newburgh.
And then, now we're going to lose movie theaters.
Hey, drive-thrus are making a comeback.
Hopefully,
that one in
drive-ins, you uncultured swine. Drive-thrus are where you go to get your food at the end of the night.
Spit in your face. Drive-ins. There's the one in Newburgh, and that one's been talking about how like great business has been.
Yeah, because there's nothing else to do. I mean, if people want to see one of those new movies and they don't see justification in spending $30 to rent it, they'll drive their happy ass down there and they'll watch it the old school style. Yeah, it's pretty cool. If we keep the ones that we have, and unfortunately the multiplex seems like it's falling by the wayside.
Tragic.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of tragic and keeping in the bummer news, Eddie Van Halen died today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't cover too much music news, and unfortunately, when we do, it's something
usually
like
bummer
this.
news.
Yeah, that's just throat cancer. Yeah, that's insane. I guess he had it for like a year, and it just didn't pull through. So, yeah, he had the two different singers, but it was always Van Halen because of him and his brother. So, I mean, were you a Sammy Hagar or a David Lee Roth Van Halen fan?
David Lee Roth.
Same.
David Lee Roth. Yeah. That first album, man, I think the first album, the one that had Run with the Devil, and yeah, that was an awesome album.
I mean, Sammy Hagar wasn't bad, but I mean, it was not. He wasn't David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the
David Lee Roth,
if it wasn't for the fact that it was Van Halen because of the brothers, I would be pissed that they used the same name, but.
Yeah, and David Lee Roth isn't even David Lee Roth anymore. So.
Yeah, I don't know what he is.
he's David Lee Roth in name only. That's about it. He ain't jumping and doing the splits no more. And that's
David Lee Roth melted.
It looks like ice cream that's been left out overnight.
You guys ever see that? Keep it on fat musicians who've let themselves go. Did you ever see the video of Axl Rose trying to sing "Welcome to the Jungle"?
Oh jeez.
No.
Well, this was a couple years old, but he was all like bloated and shit. And he tried to do what he used to do back when he was like 120 pounds, and he just takes off full sprint to the mic and grabs it, but he's winded into 20 feet. It goes there. Welcome to the show. We got
Jesus.
Oh man, there's the other one with like it's the exact same thing with like Motley Crue and
Vince Neil. Oh god. Yeah.
They're singing Dr. Feelgood and they can't even remember the fucking words, and he's just fucking Dr. Feelgood.
Some of those last shows with them, Jesus, man. Vince Neil was just
it's fucking hilarious. I don't care.
He had on like a little vest, and his gut was hanging out of the bottom, and they popped the bottom button on his vest. It's like, all right, dude, just go out in like a metal shirt or something. Not actual metal, but like a metal T-shirt. Like wear one of your own damn shirts, and just go out there. You keep the pants.
Nah, man, this is for the ladies.
Yeah, you know what? I love dancing. All right, I love watching dancing. Don't get me wrong, but the guy goes out there in mesh shirts still, man. And he's the same age as my mother, and it should not
has the same body type.
Oh my god, he looks like Frankenstein had gotten raped by Sigourney Weaver. It's just, I can't even imagine. It's like they had a love child. And
that's hilarious because he does look like a pervert Frankenstein.
But can you explain why it had to be Sigourney Weaver?
Because he's got the same face as her. Look at their faces, dude. Seriously, bring up a picture of Sigourney Weaver right now, and then bring up
oh my god, the podcast is on full pause because I'm looking at this.
So yeah, if Boris Karloff and Sigourney Weaver,
okay,
if they fucked and had a kid,
everyone's getting to listen. Yeah, or if like Danzig was brother and sister with Sigourney Weaver, they were siblings
side by side. Oh man,
look at them.
Well, like Danzig looks like if like the Wax Museum Sigourney Weaver.
Yes, like if you went to Madame Tussauds in Vegas, you're like, hey, Danzig, that's awesome. Why is he fighting a giant xenomorph? It's fucking Sigourney Weaver, you know.
Is Madame Tussauds the place that like had the really awful ones?
Yeah, well, yeah. You can touch them, so people go up and like break off people's noses. On
No, didn't they like
something.
straight up have like a black Hitler?
Oh, I don't know about that. I never saw that one. I'm sure I would have remembered. I've been to a few. I went to Movie Land Wax Museum when that was still a thing, and then they shut all those down. And then there's they're usually right by Ripley's, believe it or not. Whenever you find one of those at some touristy area. But yeah, Madame Tussauds was in Vegas, and they hardly look anything like what they're supposed to be.
Typing in Black Hitler wax statue wasn't a good idea. And I'm on a watch list now.
That's what I was just gonna say. You better, you know.
All right. Well.
So yeah. Luckily, Eddie Van Halen, he never went that route with his show. He never thought he was still, back in the 80s. David Lee Roth, yes. Danzig, yes. Vince Neil, yes. But yeah. So rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Thank you for some fucking good tunes. I appreciated them.
All right. I think that might be it, unless you guys got everything. Got anything?
Like I said, I've been traveling. I've been slighted.
Yes, I do. Very much so.
Yeah. All right, so I'm traveling. I'm in Colorado currently as we record this, and I went to my sister's wedding. But I wasn't so much slighted as I think the slighting went to my family, because there was so many problems with my mom's flight that they were left out on the tarmac in Arizona for like 3 hours because they couldn't get one of the engines to start. So they finally got the engine started. She finally took off, her and my dad. They landed. We had to go pick them up and get everything sorted. And then we get to the car rental place, and there's a line out the fucking door to get a car. So there's legitimately about 80 people in front of us. And there's 2 people working the counter because of the virus. So as we're waiting another 3 hours, as we get to the front, we're almost there. They say, we only have 10 cars left. and there is another 60 people behind where we are in line. So as we get up closer and closer, people just aren't bringing back the cars. We can't clean them as efficiently as they need to be because of the virus. And so we get right up to the front of the line, and luckily we were able to get a car. But we sat in that line for 3 hours after they'd been on the tarmac for 3 hours. Their flight was only 2. It legitimately would have taken them less time to have driven from Phoenix to Colorado to Denver than it took them the whole journey, because they took a shuttle from where they live in Arizona to Phoenix, which was like 3 hours. Then they sat there for 3 hours. They were in the air for 2 hours. And it took them another 3 hours to get the car. And it was just, it was insane.
Sucks.
So so my sliding was kind of given over to my parents. Yeah, it's less funny when it's
like not you.
Yeah, it was insane. But Fox rental cars, fuck you.
It's good to see that the Milhouse gene is inherited, though.
Yeah, I guess I got my luck from my mom, because that was just insane. We all had to deal with it, and my sister, it's like the night before her wedding and everything else. So, but that's how I was slighted this week. My flight over was actually pretty cool because nobody got the seat on the window, and I got the aisle seat. So since nobody got that seat, I got to sit in the middle and man spread like a motherfucker, and it was awesome the whole flight. I just I had one leg on the aisle seat, one leg on the window seat, and I was just sitting right in the middle.
Disgusting trash person, just airing out your crotch in front of the whole airplane.
The whole plane.
Gross.
Yeah,
it's even weird.
wonderful.
It's even gross. Like for the listeners, like you wear skinny jeans too, so you could see the outline of everything.
Who does? I don't wear fucking skinny jeans. They're just regular jeans, but on me. Holy shit.
Oh, Jesus.
This from the guy who wears basketball shorts and his fucking nuts.
That was only every time I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fucking skinny jeans.
You wear skinny jeans and your Converse shoes.
Oh, man.
Dude,
what the?
I'm horrible because I have I'm a very visual person, and I cannot get this out of my head now. Darkness and skinny jeans.
I don't wear fucking skinny jeans.
It'll look like if you put toothpicks on a pear.
What the fuck?
Darkness with the skinny jeans and a tank top with all the hair fluffing out the back.
Oh man! Oh, you hairy bastard too.
Oh my god! All right.
Well, we couldn't laugh at your bad.
All right, so now my continued sliding is happening live.
That's what I'm saying. We couldn't laugh at your family situation, so we had to fucking crack jokes at you.
You and your skinny jeans.
Fucking skinny jeans.
Well, it's all
right.
world like this as a podcast. We need to add lore to the characters. You know, I've made a very rich, complex history of Big Fish just being homeless. Hey.
I love he says hey, and then doesn't say anything after it.
True.
Hey, yo. Yeah.
Big Fish is coming to you from the park bench.
Okay, it is the fucking teeter-totters. Thank you.
I thought you weren't allowed within a certain footage of a school or playground.
There's no kids around.
Okay. Oh, that's right. They
Once again, not because you're a sex pervert, it's because you frighten children.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
we gotta in this age, we gotta throw that out there.
Oh, Jesus.
There was kids before he approached the playground, but then the mothers went and grabbed him off of the swing set and said,
"Oh God, it's horrible."
Quickly.
The family that's been living under the power lines is back. Why'd you all the children run from me?
That's no family. That's my moves.
Oh man,
moves.
So now we can do the thing where
so big.
we gotta build more lore to the Darkness character where you're scared of your wife and you're a 90s hipster goth kid where you wear skinny jeans and Converse.
Jesus. That sucks because I do have a nice pair of Converse.
Oh Jesus!
It's mostly
mine is that I'm a self-centered raving lunatic, apparently. Well, yeah, that too.
Coffee snob. Don't forget that.
That's real though. It's too real.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that thing popping up in my feed all the time.
The Bones coffee?
Thank you very much.
Did your
Yeah. Oh, that's rich people coffee.
Did your FBI agent hear it?
Probably. I don't know. That's just scary, man. You could talk about anything and it'll show up in your newsfeed somehow.
Half the time you don't even have to talk about it. You just think about it.
That's true.
That's true.
All right. Well.
All right. Well. So that was my sliding.
And then we just had to pile on top of it.
We'll see if I make it home. Oh, yeah, dog pile, because it wasn't good enough that it wasn't me directly.
Oh man, I had to wait 6 hours for an airplane. I do have the very distinct visual that your parents do look like Milhouse's parents.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway, yeah. So the wedding went fine. Everything was good. My bad luck didn't rub off on anyone else.
The bride walking up the aisle and she just
That's
trips.
always good.
Yep.
Oh, my sister? I walked up the aisle?
That would have been amazing. You trip, you bend over to help her up in your pants split.
Yeah.
That's the darkness lock.
I step on her dress and lift her up, and it tears it off of her.
Your sister,
bare ass.
Your sister's walking up the aisle, and Bad Blood does a dive out of the ring.
Fuck.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. And the show came to a screeching halt. All right, yeah. So
let's move on to what I've been excited for all week. Our top 10 favorite horror movies. We'll talk about these. So we each have our top 10 lists right in front of us. Jesus, Big V.
Yeah, took a drink of water and went down the wrong hole.
Because your body rejected it. It's like, oh, this isn't whiskey.
Right?
Or what is this?
I said fresh toilet water, you son of a bitch.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
That sucks.
Quick side note. I remember that one time, like you wanted to get a couple drinks in before the show started. That one time when you're like, "Hey, I got these buzz balls. You want to try them?"
Oh, jeez.
And like you just fucking like down yours, and like it gives you the shiver, and you throw it away. I take a sip of mine. I'm like, "Oh, this is poison." Oh my god, it was
like
awful.
fucking Windex.
And you got like 8 different flavors.
Like Windex.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Tasted if Four Loko had a retarded cousin.
Oh. Fuck.
You're all right there, V.
I'm
You're
good.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Who wants to start us off with number 10? Their number 10.
I'll start up.
Oh.
No,
yeah,
go ahead.
Darkness. Fuck V. Go ahead. All right. So, with me, every October, I try to watch a horror movie every day, at least one. And I've compiled, I don't know if it's eclectic. I mean, everyone goes for the classics, but there's ones that I personally like a lot. So for my number 10, I put Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. I actually love that movie a lot. And I was a big fan of the show. And seeing it on the big screen was like, it was a trip. I just loved it. And Billy Zane was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And William Sadler was
I do
awesome.
kind of want to preface this that like we're three pretty close with similar tastes, so there's probably going to be a little bit of overlap. But I don't have.
Yeah. Especially if we went, like I said.
I was going to say, I don't have Demon Knight on there.
Go ahead.
That's
sorry.
a good one. I forgot about that.
It's a good one, but it didn't hit my top 10.
So.
For me, my number 10, it's what I just like to like pop on every now and then. And yeah, it's a little bit on the cheesier side, but House of a Thousand Corpses.
Nice.
While Devil's Rejects was probably the better straight up horror movie, always enjoy House of a Thousand Corpses more just because it is a little bit more cheesier and a little bit more like unsettling.
Yeah. I the Devil's Rejects is unsettling because of the things that they do, but House of a Thousand Corpses is more. It's got an eerier feel to it because you can see someone out in the middle of nowhere being like that.
Although I do like Otis's character better in Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
Instead of just like trying to be Charlie Manson.
Yep. I liked him better in that one too, because he actually showed some intelligence instead of just trying to be a psycho.
And plus, you know,
like you said,
Captain Spaulding. That one
Captain
has probably the most Captain Spaulding in it.
Yeah.
And
God rest his soul.
Sid Haig,
Exactly.
man, he was a great guy. Yeah. Good old
all right,
Sid
Big
Haig.
V, what about you?
All right, so
All right.
you know, as I was telling you guys earlier, and I'll tell the listeners, my top 10s kind of jump around every once in a while, but you know, I got my set ones that are higher up on the list. But my 10 would be Paranormal Activity. Now, hear me out.
No, hold on.
Eddie,
Wait, no.
He's wait for us to pounce.
Okay, you go first, and then I'll go into my spiel about it.
So, Paranormal Activity. When I first watched the movie, I was like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. Now, mind you, I'm sitting in a 100-year-old plus home, right? In my room by myself, watching this movie. All right, not a problem. Turn it off. I'm like, fuck this movie. That was a waste of 2 hours. And then you start hearing every little creak and every little movement you see. You're fuck. If the movie makes me fucking trip out that bad afterwards, that was a good movie. It may have not been the best. Like when I watched it, it was like, you know, I've seen this 1,000 times. But when it made me think at the end, and it creeped me the fuck out, and I could not sleep.
When it's still like burrowed inside your brain, when you're trying to like, and you're listening to every little pop in the house and wondering, oh, is that the demon?
Right. So it didn't scare me during the movie itself, but afterwards, it kept me up, and it hit part of my favorite list.
So I really liked the first two. Yeah, the first two Paranormal Activities, and then afterwards they got pretty stupid and relied heavily on jump scares. So I fully agree with you with the first two. And then like by the third one, they tried to do the thing that I've like talked about on this show that I really hate, and they try to just explain the monster. Yeah, it was just the big pissed off demon that just wants to fuck with this woman. It's so much scarier than it was a coven of witches and a cult that made the demon want to fuck with this girl.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Don't ever explain the monster, because that's when you screw up. I mean, look at Prometheus.
Exactly.
Good God, man. You
the
didn't.
xenomorphs were so much scarier when they were just a thing you have to deal with in space.
Right.
Yeah.
Activity movies, because tying into all the other movies, but there was just way too much more around it. They could have made probably one more movie with all that other stuff and been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
All right. Who's next with the number 9? Me? All right. So my number 9, I don't know if you guys have seen this one or not. It's called Feast.
I think I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Okay, so it's like an independent movie, and it's got like a bunch of weird, like stunt casting, kind of. Like they have Jason Mewes in there and stuff like that. And what it is a bunch of people in a bar. And they're trapped in this bar when these creatures start coming up after them. And it's the same kind of horror like trope where there's a bunch of people stuck somewhere, which basically really similar to Demon Knight. But this one was almost like it was taking the horror movie and kind of making fun of it, but it still was a really good movie, had really good effects, and it was actually funny. It was fun to watch. So Feast, they had 3 of them, but the first one, of course, was the best one. And that's one of my top 10 favorite was Feast.
All right.
I know,
but if none of you have seen it, then it's hard to talk about.
I think I got a couple that you guys haven't seen. All right, my number 9, and we're talking about things that just like stick with you even after the movie's over. My number 9 is Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't like swimming in like deep ocean because of this movie. And you know, keeping on the trope of
Jaws.
Good first movie, shitty sequels.
Right.
Like this, like It totally happened, and that's another thing that I love about some horror movies is that this is shit that just like totally happens, where a shark will be like, "Hey, I just like eating here now. This is where I'm gonna live and eat all these people." And then the side story of the scumbag mayor who's still just be like, there's no shark. Oh, we'll just keep it open and just have a buffet open for this shark.
Yeah, it's we run into a lot of wrestling promoters like that. Oh no, he's fine. Send him out there. He's drunk. No,
exactly. He brings he's on the pro. He brings a little revenue. Oh, what do you mean he's blown out his shoulder? He could still do some stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that mirror probably sticks out more than Chief Brody sometimes.
All right, so my number 9. Once again, it's something that trips you out after the movie was over. All right, Hereditary. So I watched the movie in the theaters, and I enjoyed it. I was kind of like, I don't really know if this is a horror movie. This is a good, like, psychological, like, I enjoyed the story. It was what some people would call a slow burner, but I think it was just fun. It went perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it wasn't until I got home, and it was like fucking, I don't know, 4 in the morning. I go to take a piss, and the door starts moving, and it's like that clicking sound.
Oh yeah.
Like that you kept hearing like throughout the whole movie. Yeah, let's just say I had to clean up the walls and the floor and everything because I urinated everywhere. I was like, "What the fuck?" I jumped, dude. It scared the shit out of me.
Hereditary. Yeah,
it's like a firefighter.
As soon as I calmed down, I was like, "Fuck, that was a good movie." Like,
Hereditary just like barely missed my list. I'm putting it on as my number 11. But yeah, that, like you said, it was a slow burner, but if you took out any piece of it, it wouldn't work.
Right.
If you took out one scene, everything in that movie had a reason to be in that movie. And all of it was like, all of it was kind of like white knuckled at the edge of your chair. What's going to happen next?
Exactly. It was like, what's going to happen? It wasn't like, oh, yeah, I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Or, I can see what's going to happen.
You definitely, there's some shit in there you just don't see coming.
Right.
It's funny, too, because, like, the scenes that are gory and graphic stick with you more because they're so few and far between. And the people that they happen to you've grown on them. They had character development. It's not like the stupid teenager that went off and had sex and got axed in the head. It's like, oh my God, this is like a huge part of this movie.
You've got to deal with,
it has an impact.
You know, these people's struggles with this certain issue that they're dealing with. I'm trying not to spoil it too much. There are 2 scenes I'm going to spoil, though, because, like, well, they're in the trailers anyway. Because you're talking about how the gore just sticks with you. There's the part where the person's like on the roof and just slamming their head into the fucking ceiling. Just that fucking pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
And then the man who just randomly catches on fire.
Yep. And it's so weird because normally that would be cheesy.
It has an impact because, like,
it has an impact.
That was kind of like your straight-laced character who's like, all right, this is fucking ridiculous. And then he does the thing that you're not supposed to do, and then he just bursts into flames. And I'm pretty sure at that point I was like, I actually screamed at my TV, what the fuck?
Yep. That was a good one. Hereditary, yeah.
I think it's you.
No, it's
all right, Zach.
Yeah.
Is it me now? Oh, okay. So my number 8 is the original Dawn of the Dead. And the one in the mall, I didn't like the remake too much. The original was crazy because it was so graphic, the stuff that they had, because they had Tom Savini doing the effects. And it gave you such a feeling of isolationism because it was like you're just stuck. I mean, as a kid, you'd be like, "Oh, it's cool, I'm stuck in a mall," but the reality of it is just like it was so bleak. It was so there was like no redemption for anybody, especially if you watch the version where I think it's the European cut or something where everyone just dies. It's just like nobody gets out. And you know, I was a big fan of the horror movie effects and stuff like that, and that's like one of the trademarks, one of the staples for actual practical effects for movies, because Tom Savini was there and he was in it, which was awesome.
I think the European cut's the only one I've seen. That's all I remember is that they all just die at the end.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's they have, I think, 3 different cuts of it, but that one's just the most depressing.
All right.
So, Dawn of the Dead.
So my number 8, and because it's cooler because we're talking about isolationism, my number 8 is Alien. The original Alien. And it's kind of funny because, you know, we brought up the xenomorphs already. When, like, take away the stupid backstory that Prometheus tried to give them, when they were just a weird penis-shaped monster that you just have to fucking deal with. And
it's funny because
like
that's
penises.
all H.R. Geiger knows is penises and how to make them look weird.
Like most of his art is just like penis-shaped things, and I think that's kind of, I'm pretty sure that's just his thing. Where like, I want to make unsettling art. I'm going to make it into a penis that's spewing all over this thing, and it's going to have teeth, and a little penis is going to come out of it. But like, they're just all like. We're talking about not seeing, because you don't see the alien itself. Like, you see it burst out of dude's chest, and then you don't see it for a good half hour after that. And yeah, when you do see it, and it's just as cool as you're wanting it. The big, it's always wet and slimy.
Yeah, that first Alien movie is one of the few horror movies I've actually gotten my wife to watch. And she actually liked it a lot because it was more suspenseful than horror. But that's another one of those ones where the gore scenes stick with you because there's so few and far between. That alien busting out of that chest, man, that sticks with you forever after.
Did you ever hear the backstory behind that?
You know?
That supposedly none of the crew knew that was going to happen?
Yes. The only people that knew was, I forget his name now, that he played one of the doctors, but the guy that it popped out of, he saw it, he knew what it was. But you can see it, all the people in the background.
Yeah, that one lady who, like, blood gets squirted on her and she starts losing her shit. That's a genuine reaction.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, V, what do you got for your
number 8 is Us.
Really?
Okay.
Oh.
I haven't seen that one.
So it was a cross between Get Out and Us. They're both. I love the art form, but Us was just very. It was intriguing and like figuring out what was actually going on, and then everything at the end. It was just, to me, it was a very. It was a mind fucked of a movie. It was. I'm trying to not say anything because Darkness hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
But it hit there. It's was good enough to go as my 8.
See, this is our first controversial pick because I wildly preferred Get Out over Us.
And I have seen either, so I'm a
I highly recommend watching both of them, but Get Out is I feel the better of the two.
And that was the thing. It was close. It was very close to me. Like both of them. It was like right there. It was like but you know, Us kind of leaned a little bit more on my side. So yeah. It's I do recommend watching both of them. Darkness. It's You wouldn't be disappointed.
No.
Okay.
You
No,
won't-
I'm always looking for new stuff.
You
I'll
won't
watch
be
both of them.
disappointed until you
You guys
watch
gotta
us.
find Feast though. I'll watch.
Okay,
Get
no,
Out
watch
first, and then
Us
I'll go to
first.
Us.
Are they?
Is there an order? Because I know they're connected, aren't they?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
No.
I thought they were. Oh, okay, then never mind. I'll watch them both whenever.
Then do that.
Do it to
Do
you.
that, sir.
All right.
Good deal.
So,
Why do you? How?
It's you.
was it
There are
Zach or is it
3
me?
of us
I keep
in
forgetting
this.
how this order. It's me.
Holy shit! There are 3 of us
I'm
in here.
after
How do you
you.
keep fucking this up?
I don't know. All right, so my number 7 was the David Cronenberg Fly
Yeah.
with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, because Cronenberg, that movie is kind of a what do they call it? A gateway drug.
That body
into
horror.
That genre of horror. David Cronenberg is, body horror splatter. The Fly was probably the biggest release and the most well-known one of those. So it was the first one that I saw, and just seeing Jeff Goldblum be Jeff Goldblum
Yes.
in Fly makeup was insane. I mean, his teeth falling out and shit, and his those big gnarly black hairs that would come out of his back. It just, all that stuff. It's one of those things, like you said, it sticks with you because it's like, Jesus,
No.
what if this shit started happening to me?
That's the thing about like.
So, yeah.
That's the thing about body horror. That's why I kind of like it so much. Is that like you're watching it and then you could kind of like you could almost feel what it's like.
Yeah, like the Cronenberg's real good about that because he's making it like it's almost from your perspective because of the way that
when he
the
starts like
narrative
pulling
is
off
for
his
the main
fingernails, I
character
still
in
can't
his
watch
movies.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's not something.
Yeah, that sticks with you.
All right. Yep. No, I have a
teeth,
very
you, it's
like
fingernails, but yeah,
like it's fingernails, teeth, and eyes.
yeah, eyes are another bad one.
Well, it's kind of
So
weird
that was my
because
number
like
7. It's
me and you end up having a theme because I've got another splatter one for you. My number 7 is the first Saw.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's splatter or
I think
that was
I think Hostel was the beginning of torture porn. This one,
yeah,
I think Saw started as
Was it
splatter
Hostel?
and then
Okay.
turned into torture porn.
that's very true because the first Saw was pretty mind blowing when you go through it.
It was the first time my mind had been blown by a movie because the big twist in it, who Jigsaw is, and like I've heard several people who like, oh, I saw that coming a mile away. Fuck you. No, you didn't.
Nobody saw it coming.
Stop trying to be fucking cool. All right. Yeah. No, it was so like out of left field.
I love people that do that.
Like at the tail end of the movies, they started getting ridiculous. But these puzzles and torture contraptions, even into Saw 2, were just like unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was in the second one.
Like a
second movie
syringes that somebody got thrown in. Yeah, that was probably the one that sticks out. I was just like, oh Jesus, glass syringes and needles. Oh,
like there was the one that stood out for me for the first Saw movie was the guy who had to crawl through all the razor wire, and like they're talking about how he pushed himself and he crawled so deep that they were finding like stomach acid on some of the razor wire.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is they give you detailed descriptions about stuff like that later. So it's like, ugh. But on a quick side note, I was watching a movie about. You remember the theme park action park?
Oh, it's on HBO.
So they had a
I saw this one too.
And okay, you remember the scene where they're talking about that loop-de-loop slide? and people would hit their head on the slide and come out the other side.
They'd come in
with
all
missing
scratched
teeth,
up.
But then the next person that would come through would have all these they'd have lacerations all over their legs because there was teeth embedded in the slide from the person before them, and that was disturbing as shit to me. I don't know why, but yeah, that's anyway.
That I should have put that on my list. Just the horrific shit that guy got away with.
Yeah,
like,
that was just disturbing.
Oh yeah, this teenager got decapitated, and not my fault.
It's like the most realistic Willy Wonka ever.
If Willy Wonka was shit.
Anyway, sorry to derail.
All right. My number 7 was also the first Saw.
Really?
So
we've known each other too long.
This is the first time that okay, the movie's been out way too long, so if anybody's not seen it yet, fuck off.
Yeah, it's had to be like
too late.
20-year movie.
So there was the gore throughout the movie, but a lot of it was them inside this room. And it was just the way the acting went on, you felt like what they were going through. And then, they would jump over to like a scene here or there of a few things, but just being this grungy, like dirty ass, I don't know what the fuck it was, a bathroom or whatever, it was like, it was just creepy. And the lights, the way they were dimmed and how this body was just in the middle of the floor with blood all around it. I really loved how this story went through that movie. And then, that twist at the end, it was just like, holy fuck. Like, I did not see that coming. And I'm pretty good at seeing things happening before it happens, especially in horror movies, because me and my kid were talking the other day. If a horror movie isn't kind of cheesy and campy, it's not a real horror movie. So there's little things that you catch on and you see, but then you get classics, or this will be a classic. You get stuff like this, and it just blows your mind. Now, granted, the movies kind of got, very repetitive over time, but I do like the story that was told from the first movie all the way to the end.
Yeah. I think the only Saw movie I didn't like I kind of just, by what, 7, is there 8 of them?
I think
so.
Yeah, I think by then I totally just understood that they were just cheap popcorn, torture porn, splatterfest. I'm not coming here anymore for a deep story. I'm gonna watch some people get fucked up and torn apart. I could deal with that, but I do think like the third one is the weakest one. I think.
Yeah, that's the one with the ice, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's so weird because, it's bad when they all start blending together.
Well, I just remember Chester from Linkin Park playing a Nazi or something like that.
I think that was like number 6.
He's like super glued to the seat, and he has to like reach up and like whatever, his girlfriend's like chained up over here. His buddy's got his face underneath the tire, and like the other dude's like, it's crazy shit.
Yeah. It's a lot. It goes. It morphs a lot into from here's a reverse bear trap that's on your face. Get it off. To actual team building exercises.
Yeah.
No, it's the other thing about Saw is it was one of my sister's favorite movies.
Yep.
And she watched a few of them, wasn't able to finish them, of course, and so I decided to do instead of watching Dirty fucking Dancing twice a year. I watched Dirty Dancing on her birthday, and then October 1st, the day she passed, I start with Saw. And it depends on where I'm at through the day or how sober I am.
No.
I'll either watch a few of them or not, but throughout the month of October, I watch all of them.
Yeah, you have an emotional connection to them too.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Which sounds a little weird until you actually realize how weird we are.
Yeah.
But no, it's good to have something like that. All right. Well, my number 6 would be Nightmare on Elm Street 4. And they were getting cheesy at this point, but it's the first one that I was actually able to see. So the concept of the Dream Master and absorbing the powers of her friends that had died and all that stuff was really cool to me. I think I was like 11 when I saw it. So, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Shot or the Dream Master.
I was gonna say, I was always a Dream
Warriors
guy out of that franchise.
Yeah, Dream Warriors started with them being able to control things and manipulate it so they weren't victims all the time. And then the next one, which I say was the first one I saw, was like tripped me out because like she's gaining her brother's kung fu and you know all that
it's
crazy
a good one.
stuff. So I like that one a lot. And I know it's cheesy.
The Nightmare on Elm Street are definitely the ones kind of like Saw where they kind of bleed together. Because I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think I want to say Dream Warriors where he had the power glove. That was okay. That's like the ultimate cheese.
The Final Nightmare. Yeah.
Now I'm playing with power,
that's
bitch.
where it pretty much jumped the damn shark. Yeah.
Did we?
But on a quick side note,
Really?
Robert Englund is one of the nicest dudes I have ever met. So he is like so cool. He's like, "Oh, you're a fan?" I was like, "Yeah, it's nice to meet you." "Oh, hey, you want a picture?" I was like, "I can't. I'm working." He's like, "All right, well."
Did you ever meet
nice
Kane Hodder?
I'm like, "Thanks, man."
Yep, that's what I was just thinking that story. I couldn't remember if it was you or not. Because he just grabs you by the throat.
Me.
Like,
he grabbed me by the throat.
He didn't grab me by the throat, but I've been around him, and he is a physically intimidating guy. Yeah, you don't realize how huge he is until like you're standing next to him. Yeah,
it's a big dude, man.
Just wide. He looks like he got hit in the face with a shovel a bunch of times.
He's yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So was that Zach?
My number 6 is probably my first
6.
controversial pick. I don't even know if you guys have seen it, but The Witch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Witch. No,
So it's
it
takes place in colonial America. This this family gets exiled from a Puritan community and have to go out and live on their own. But the baby of the group, the infant, gets stolen, and they think it's because of this witch who lives out, in the woods that surround them, because they're miles and miles away from any settlement. And then they start thinking, the daughter's the witch. And I always love these kind of movies that are just like, it's really just like 4 or 5 actors, but the paranoia in it, and they sell it so real.
Mm-hmm.
Where the mom straight up thinks, my daughter's the witch, we have to kill her, we have to get rid of her, I want my baby back. When the husband is just like, no, you're fucking crazy, woman. And then that one I absolutely kind of adored, and I found out that I was kind of like one of the few people who did.
It was a good movie. It definitely was a good movie.
It's on Netflix. I highly recommend it.
I haven't seen it, so
they do speak. The thing that threw a lot of people off is that they do speak in kind of like a old English dialect.
Yeah.
Shut thy mouth, woman.
Okay. Oh. All right.
V. movie.
I'll look at that one too.
All right.
Seen that one.
My number 6, The Thing. The original.
The 1950s?
All right, which one?
Huh?
Nope.
No,
Yeah.
that's right. There was one before that.
And one from the 50s?
Look at him getting all art snob on us.
No.
No, I totally forgot
Actually.
about that. Kurt Russell. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Kurt Russell.
Actually,
John
the thing. There's the thing in the 50s.
Right.
There's the thing from outer space,
Actually.
and it might be actually a prequel to the John Carpenter's The Thing.
Sound like Zach now. Listen to me. Wow.
Anyway,
what is there to say about that? That's just fucking
Yep.
perfection for a movie.
Yep.
You got great effects.
the thing
You got the
about the
paranoia.
witch
You got
that I
people
just said I
trapped
love about the
somewhere.
witch is the same thing I love about the thing.
Yeah, and I mean, just at the, like, what the fuck? Like, the way it ends, it's just kind of like, what's going on here? You know, it leaves you wondering, like, what the hell? But it's not like that bad. What the hell? It's not like that. Like, I need another movie to find out what happens. It just leaves you like,
It's ambiguous.
this is how it is.
Yep.
Yeah. the fucking
That's a good
that
one.
head coming out.
So,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, like I said, the practical effects in that thing were awesome. So,
5.
6? No, 5. 5. All right, so this one kind of goes along the lines of paranormal activity and stuff like that, but this one's an earlier one, and it's one of the ones that sticks with me for a while. And there's a scene in the movie that just blows me away and freaks me out every time it happens.
See, now
But
we've
the
reversed.
entity-
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, so the entity is it's supposedly based on a true story. This woman who divorced her husband, and her 2 kids move into an apartment.
Okay.
And she gets raped by a ghost. So it's got a lot more psychological to it. I mean, there is a scene where she's like just thrown, and the music that hits while it's happening, just like
I think I've heard about this.
And the rape scene's in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's Barbara Hershey. I don't want to say is the actress. So it's basically her dealing with it, people calling her crazy, people, all this stuff. But this ghost rapes her, and it's her having to deal with it afterward. And it's got a lot of paranormal activity type of stuff to it, where it's the stuff moving on shelves and all that good stuff. But the scene where she gets raped is just like, I still remember the music. I still remember what happened, and it freaks me out still. Like, I get chills when I see it. And it's an older movie too, which is crazy because you don't expect that kind of stuff in a movie that's like from, I'd say it's the 70s, 80s, or late 70s, early 80s. But it's one of the ones that sticks with you. And so that's my paranormal pick, would be The Entity.
My number 5, I'm a huge fan of the found footage videos. And my number 5 is VHS.
Nice.
All right. Now I know we're on the same page.
Nice. Okay. If you said Blair Witch, we'd have a fight. But if it's
yeah,
VHS, that one's good.
I love the. At first, I wasn't too sure if I liked the horror anthology aspect of it, but by the end of the movie, I was fucking sold. My favorite story is, I think, actually the first one with that weird vampire lady.
The Banshee or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VHS 2 is also very, very good, but VHS 1 made me fall in love with this.
Oh, yeah. Now, what do you think of...
Now, which one...
Go ahead.
That one's 2, I think.
Which one has the aliens?
So I like that one a lot too.
2. Okay, I like that one.
But I like the cult story in 2. Well, the cult story, and then there's the zombie story where you see it from the zombie's perspective. What? Yeah, they're all excellent.
Yes,
I
that
do
one
highly
was fun.
recommend.
I like that. Those are all
Sorry
good.
to keep cutting you off, V.
I'm just saying, what do y'all think of VHS Viral?
Oh, it sucked. It was fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
If I got all three of them as a bundle, and I would have saved the $1 if I knew it was that bad.
Yeah, it was a horrible movie.
I would have paid more money to not get the bundle. I would have bought the two separate. Yeah, Viral is fucking
Really?
terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, Darkness, don't. It's
That's Viral.
Okay, I've seen
No,
1 and 2.
no,
I
three
believe
is
isn't there
Viral
a
is the
3
third.
and then Viral? Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm good with what I got.
Yeah, the first two
All
are excellent, and I highly recommend them
Yeah, the
to
first
anybody.
two I liked a lot. Those were good.
oh yeah. All right. So my number 5, Poltergeist.
Ooh, that is a good one.
That movie, great movie, and
Another good one.
so once again, one of those things that stick with you. Now, I'm a kid at this. Like when I see this movie, I don't remember how old, maybe 8 or 9, maybe younger. We're sitting all around. It's me, my cousins, my sister. We're all watching this movie. So I start getting a little creeped out throughout the movie. I'm sitting the furthest away from the TV, kind of by our stairs, and I'm getting a little creeped out. So the Star Wars blanket the kid had, I had the same Star Wars blanket. Okay, so there's similarities here. Things are connecting. I'm like, fuck that. Okay, thank God I don't have a giant ass clown. But so watching this movie, and of course, as a kid, you're jumping at little things. It wasn't until that fucking thing starts glowing at the top of the stairs and coming down
Yes.
that I freaked the fuck out. So my cousin gets up and goes to the bathroom. I run over and steal her chair. So now I'm away from the stairs. I'm like, fuck that. I ain't staying by the stairs. So she comes back, throws a fit. They're like, get up. I'm like, no, this is my chair anyways. They're like, you need to get up. I'm like, no. They're like, fine, go to bed. Well, guess where bed is? Up the stairs. With the Star Wars blanket.
Top of the
So I
stairs.
throw a fit. I get my ass whooped. I get sent to bed anyways. I'm screaming and crying all night long. Yeah, that movie, I loved it.
I imagine you even
So-
even as a kid being like 6'2", so the idea of you getting your ass whipped is weird. Fucking baby Huey.
Baby Huey.
The great thing
Yeah.
about Poltergeist 2 is that
Jaws
it's
is PG also.
That's insane to me to think that. Yep.
Yeah.
Jaws as well. Some of those horror movies, it's just
Jaws,
crazy
you
to
actually
think
see
that it was
like
before
you actually
PG-13.
see a little bit of boob,
But
and you see
those movies.
a disembodied leg. Poltergeist has actual human skeletons in it.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like real ones. Yeah,
And
I
then
remember
just
that
all the,
controversy was kind of crazy.
The stories behind like the movie and like the curse that took place.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that. Yeah.
oh, and
the
then I'm sorry.
actress,
Anytime you
the
have a
little girl
fucking
and
full-grown
everything,
woman
yeah,
that's
that's
like
crazy.
smaller than like the youngest kid in the movie, walking around like Carol Ann, listen to your mother.
She's smaller than the 4-year-old that's on set.
Yeah.
Now, Carol Ann, I need you to listen to me, Carol Ann.
Fucking great. Oh man, I
Now, honey,
I forgot about that woman because she did like a couple ghost shows, like top 10 haunted places. And I couldn't take any of them seriously because she's just this little woman who's
Yeah.
3 foot nothing, but like huge. And like the world's creepiest voice. I thought it was like Zelda
Yeah,
something.
that was. I forget it. Ruby something. Yeah, but Zelda. There you go. I don't know why.
Hold on, I gotta take a quick break because you sent us that picture of Kane Hodder choking you out.
All right,
and you
so
genuinely look terrified. That's that's definitely a look of too tight, too
Those are
tight,
my
too
eyes,
tight.
like, legit rolling back in my head.
He is a gigantic man.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure how tall
His
I am.
arms
And
the
then
size
he's
of your
just right
torso.
there. But look at those arms. That's what's intimidating as hell. Yeah, and if anyone wants to
fact that
see it,
you're,
I
like,
can post
dying
it. If
there,
not,
he's just
you just
looking
have
like,
to take our word
Not
for it.
another fucking picture.
Yeah. So my number 4, and this is just so typical. This is, Halloween. It's one of my favorite. It started the slasher genre. It's John Carpenter. It's, you got to watch it every year for Halloween. It's not much else to be said. Everyone knows fucking Halloween. So, Rob Zombie's remake
I like
was
the
okay.
first one.
There's some stuff that kind of pissed me off
remake was
about
good.
it, but it's
I'm Joe Priestley, bitch.
Yeah, no. The second one was trash. Yeah,
No.
I don't even consider the second one part of anything. I bypass that one.
Yeah.
And then the remake that's called Halloween, not a remake, but the continuation.
Was that
where
good?
they
I didn't see it.
basically delete 2 through 6 or 7.
Oh,
I'll have to check
It
out.
actually was. It was pretty good. I did like that one. Yeah.
All right. I think
classic
so. I think my
Halloween.
top.
The only,
There you
sorry.
hold on. The only good thing about the second Rob Zombie Halloween movie was you got to see Danielle Harris's.
You're gonna say that. This is one of those girls that you like grew up with, like, and I have this weird thing, like, okay, if you thought a girl was cute when you were the same age, is it still okay to think that they're cute?
Yeah.
And I know like it's into creepy territory.
No, Christina Ricci
Fucking Christina Ricci
is still hot,
still
though.
to this day. But I was the right age at that time.
Yeah.
No, definitely she still is, and Danielle Harris is too. But it was like a 30-year tease, like you see her. And she's just a little kid, but you're a little kid at the same time. And then it's like they turned her into just like machete fodder at the end, which was, it's kind of funny. So, yeah, I remember that being the standout.
All right, so
spot in that whole
I think
movie.
my top 4 is where we're going to start fighting each other. So number 4 for me
Here it comes.
is the It remake.
Okay.
It Chapter 1.
No,
There are,
I'll give
like,
it to
in
you.
my adult life, there are very few scenes
Yeah.
that actually scare the shit out of me. Then when the kid with the stutter goes down into the basement, It Chapter 2 was okay. But Chapter 1, when the kid goes down in the basement and it's all flooded and Georgie's down there and Pennywise is kind of like using him as a puppet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And then like he just like they start the whole you'll float too. And then he slams him down and Pennywise does that fucking mad dash across the water. That legit, like, I watched it in theater and that legit like made me sit back in my
like
chair,
yeah.
oh fuck. And is it Bill Skarsgård who does Pennywise? The only guy who could do it better than Tim Curry.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No,
he didn't do it better.
He did
No,
it way
fuck
better.
you.
Well, okay, that
No.
might be controversial.
You don't watch Tim Curry to watch Pennywise. You watch Tim Curry for Tim Curry.
Well, all right. No, I watch Rocky Horror Picture Show for Frankenfurter, not for Tim Curry.
Like,
Okay,
everything
I'll give it to you.
about his Pennywise was
That
just
one was
like
very well done.
they
And
made they made the dentures too big so he could drool, and they kept it in, and then he could actually do that crazy shit with his eyes.
Yeah, but to say, yeah. Anyways, all
Yeah,
right,
no,
number
yeah.
4,
Yeah.
correct?
Oh
Number 4,
no,
correct?
you're not gonna fight with me?
Oh no, I'll pick it up later.
Okay. Oh no, I got plenty more to fight about my top 3.
Number 4, Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Huh. Yeah.
Have you all seen it?
Whoa, that's a deep dive. Okay.
I'm kind of in the same
I've
boat.
heard of it and I know what it's about, but I have not
surprisingly
actually seen it.
like okay, it was suggested to me and it was like whatever. It wasn't something that I like dove out there to try to find, and I think it ended up being on Netflix at one point. I think it might even be on Netflix right now. So we decided to watch it, and holy shit, like it was legitimately a good movie, and there was the tension and like the scares, and it was like, man, I should have went out there and actually fucking tried to find it when it was first suggested to me, because it was that good of a movie. For a newer movie too, that's some of my problems with a lot of the newer horror movies. They're good movies, but they're not horror movies to me. They don't leave that lasting trail on me, that lasting effect.
Horror movies today, like 3 old men getting on their soapboxes right now. Horror movies today rely too much on jump scares.
Not even jump scares, but the buckets of blood. Like they think somebody fucking getting their finger chopped off and a fucking aquarium tank full of blood comes pouring out. It's like fucking, oh yeah, people are gonna get freaked out on this. No, it's like, okay, cool.
It's some artsy director who's always sitting in back and just like, be disturbed.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, my number 3 would be Evil Dead Part 2.
Uh-huh.
So I love Evil Dead. I love all of them. I love Bruce Campbell. I love the show. I love fucking. I watched fucking Xena just to see his ass on there. But Bruce Campbell's. One of the first movies that I saw that I loved him in was Maniac Cop, and then I got a hold of Evil Dead 2 because there was no way I couldn't find Evil Dead. This is back in the video days and Blockbuster and all that crap.
Yep.
But Evil Dead 2 is one of the best. I laughed out loud because it was so funny, but then it was so creepy, some of the stuff that was in there, and the trees and doing the it's just like, it was so weird because they put it in a lot of ads and stuff, a roller coaster of emotion, but it's like 1 second you're laughing and the next thing you're like, oh Jesus, what just But Evil Dead 2, Bruce Campbell, it's probably one of the best horror movies of all time, and that's one of my favorites.
Oh, so, yeah, Evil Dead really?
2. I think I missed that.
I don't know if you guys seen
it. I went from Evil Dead 1 to Army of Darkness, so
Really?
You missed that one. Yeah. and if you guys see it, it's got a lot to do with my gimmick too. So through the whole thing, possessed hand and all that stuff. But when I was originally going to start out, I was going to have a bag over my hand and wrestle with a bag on my hand like a burlap sack, and then at the end pull the bag off of my hand and have it be all grotesque and just basically do a choke slam, but doing it from the position of a iron claw. So, because my hand was going to be possessed and making me do shit, and it was all based off
do that,
Evil
and it looks kind of stupid, though.
It sticks with me. I love that movie. Probably years before I just didn't do it because I knew it would look stupid.
All right,
we're
at number 3. Continuing the weird trend of me and Darkness being eerily the same. My number 3 is, and again, I know this is going to start some fights. My number 3 is Evil Dead, but the remake. Yep.
Oh,
okay. So before I start judging, do you think Evil Dead the remake is better than Evil Dead?
Oh, here he goes.
Yes.
All right, you bastard. Hey, Darkness, are you able to cut people's feeds on this? Because, like...
Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Invite them to the podcast.
The Evil Dead remake is what
All right, no,
what they were going for with the overtop gore, the buckets of blood, and it's an actual really good story besides a bunch of people just trapped and getting the shit kicked out of them.
Right. So it was a good remake. It was a lot of remakes suck ass, okay? But yes. I will admit that was a good remake. But just because it did what the first movie and second movie or the first movie was trying to do, which is what produced the second movie more goofy. But although they're trying to make the remake did what the first movie tried to do, doesn't make it better to me.
No,
it makes it a great remake. It shows what the first movie tried to do, and that's what I liked about the remake of Halloween, Rob Zombie's version, is it gave you more in depth on Michael as a child. So it added to the story. It brought it up, but I would not say it was better. I would not say it was better.
It was more gore. It was better story, and
I will punch you in your fucking dick. I swear to God.
Seriously, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I seriously think the only people who hate it are old guys like you who are pissed because Bruce Campbell wasn't in it.
No, I liked the movie. I liked it a lot. I will not say it's better than the original though.
See, the thing with me with this, okay, if you take the Evil Dead away from it and you don't try to market it as an Evil Dead remake and you just make it its own thing, I think it would have been a lot better for me. Because you're kind of right where, okay, Bruce Campbell's not in it, but the story itself was good, the effects were good, all that stuff, but tacking on the Evil Dead legacy is kind of what keeps it lower down on the list for me.
And I know I've said this as a negative about past movies on our list, but they get kind of goofy in the good way. Is that what it is? What you guys didn't like about it is that it was like trying to be an actual horror movie instead of like kind of a goofy comedy horror.
So first off, you need to stop saying what you didn't like about it, because like I said, I liked the movie. I liked it as a remake. It will not, in my book, be better than the original.
You see, old man, you got to get onto the kids' way of thinking, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Listen to your fucking elder. Listen to your fucking elder and shut your mouth.
Fucking garbage people.
All right, V, what's your number?
Wait.
Steer away from this
well, I would
controversy.
Hope. No, I would hope. I would hope none of us.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
Anyone's feelings. We're just.
And
we're just fucking around.
No, yeah, we're just fucking around. I'm not really. Is there any better scene in any movie that makes you openly cringe than when she licks that fucking box cutter?
Oh,
that part that's where I was sold.
That's
yeah. Okay. So my third is Trick or Treat.
Okay.
With Sam, the Spirit of Halloween.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
That's same.
This is like one of the new classics.
I don't even remember this movie. I saw, but I saw it and I'm like, okay, this movie looks great. But for years I could not find it. Fucking tried finding it, could not find it. It was like, what the fuck? It was like kind of like how New Mutants was. We saw previews for like 20 years, and then it finally comes out. So this movie I saw previews, but it was never released. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Then one day, the only good thing about Blockbuster going out of business was going to their previously viewed DVDs and like 5 for $20.
Yeah.
So I'm digging through, and all of a sudden I'm like, trick or treat. Oh shit, that movie! Grabbed it, watched it, fell in love. It was really cool how it all tied together, and the way it was put together. It was enjoyable to me.
No, yeah. It was kind of funny because I actually watched that one recently because I've seen Sam like in other things, like in other photos, other Halloween things, and then like I think I saw it pop up on Netflix or Hulu. I can't remember which one. And then I was just like, fuck it, I'll just watch this. And I've been hearing good things about it, and yeah, I adored it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good anthology movie, all about Halloween, and yeah, like you said, it ties together all at the end. It's a great movie. Like I said, it's a new modern classic Halloween movie to watch. I liked it. So yeah, and it's number 2 for me, and I have 2 written here because I don't know if you guys will consider the first one a horror movie, but I have The Crow. The thing that got me, I was a big fan of the comic, but the thing that gets me is the crazy killer is the hero. And it kind of takes a horror movie and kind of drops it on its head because it's like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, this unstoppable killer that kills all these, innocent kids. In this one, it's kind of crazy because the unstoppable killer is going after evil. Going after normal bad guys. Yeah.
And no, I get it.
I like the concept of it. And if you think about it from that way, it's kind of a horror movie. But, so, yeah. And that's my all-time favorite movie. But I didn't
it's just like with horror movies. So you can go and argue that Jaws isn't a horror movie. It's more of a... What?
I was going to say, shit, you could argue that House of a Thousand Corpses isn't really a horror movie.
Right, it's all in what you consider horror.
It's a comedy.
I don't know how.
It's all in what you consider horror, and people have different perspectives of what a horror movie is, and some consider it more of like a thriller or a crime thriller, where others will consider it a horror movie because it's a killer going around killing people. So it's. Yeah, I would consider The Crow, I wouldn't argue that it wasn't a horror movie. So, like, I'm not going to look at you and say, no, you're wrong. That's an action hero movie or it's a crime drama.
Even from the perspective, like, you take the horror movie monster perspective and turn it around. From Jason's point of view, he's killing bad people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking weed.
Yeah, that's true. Evil people having sex and, breaking into his little area. Smoking weed.
It's an interesting look at the it's an interesting look at the movie itself as a horror movie.
Interesting way to do the movie.
I dig it. I'll take it. What was you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I had the other one, the alternate was Fright Night, the original, but but yeah, we'll stick with The Crow because, like I said, he massacres people kind of in the same way.
Here's the thing: if you want to argue the fact that somebody wants to tell you it's not a horror movie, he is dead. He rose from the dead, and he's killing people. So, hey,
yeah,
he's a music zombie.
Yeah. There you go. Right. Perfect.
My number 2 I've been kind of dreading.
Then I'll stick with the Crow.
My number 2 is the Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Ever since, because we were joking about that before, and I was just like, "Oh, okay."
We were joking about.
Well, I think Darkness was the only one that had a problem, and I was actually going to say something, but I'm like, I think this is on Zach's list.
So just like the idea, okay, you got to take yourself back to 1999, before viral marketing was a thing, before we even knew what that was, and everybody thought we just watched 3 people maybe die. Everybody thought it was real. This shit took over. It was hot. The actress's mom was getting calls about, hey, have you had any luck finding your daughter? And plus, I like the same with Jaws. I've always had a weird, profound fear of just being alone in the woods.
Right.
And when I watched this movie, I was 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
I watched this movie. And then that weekend, we were going camping. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then I couldn't sleep at all. Every little creek outside of my tent, I was freaked out. And it's just like, I honestly love everything to do with the Blair Witch, the idea, the mythology. By the way, for anybody listening, it's all bullshit. The town of Burkittsville does exist, but there's never been a Blair Witch until 1999.
Right.
But they created this whole mythology around it, and they've created video games, and the second movie that I rank as so bad it's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The red. Talking about the redhead?
No. The chicken there was hot. I remember that.
The goth one was my sexual awakening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Her name is actually Kim, but I can't remember her last name.
That's the one I'm
talking about. And she is still fine.
But no, the Blair Witch. I actually just watched that the other day.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So did I actually.
Did you? See, the thing with me is I liked it. I liked the whole concept of it.
Yeah.
But it got so big, so blown out of proportion, which was good because it was like a nothing budget and they made their money back. But they took the time to put together basically what we know as viral now. That was like the beginning of that. The only things I don't like about it is I get nauseous when I watch it. Because that fucking camera goes all over the place.
The only movie I have, I love found footage movies. I said earlier, the only one that made me nauseous, and I to this day can't finish it, is oh fuck, I just lost it. Cloverfield. How the fuck did you know that?
Cloverfield? Yeah.
Another found
footage
that you guys should check out if you haven't.
Remember.
It's called Jerusalem. No, it's not. Yeah, it's found footage, I guess you could say. Okay. Jerusalem. Good movie. I think it's on Netflix.
But yeah.
Okay. There was another one that I saw from right around that same time as the Blair Witch. It was called The Final Broadcast. And it's a great found footage movie until like the last 10 minutes. So if you're a fan of those, then
like the Blair Witch, I think
the
Blair Witch is the one that started the found footage thing because everybody was like,
point.
"Oh, we could spend $10,000 and make millions back. Let's do this." No. Actually,
no, sir. No. You want to know what the first found footage movie
I did
was?
know that, and you're right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
Oof.
that and if anyone wants to lose
that
their
one
lunch
gets
while
rough.
they're watching a movie, Cannibal Holocaust is one of the ones that Actually, if you want to talk about,
like the director went to trial for it, didn't he?
That shit blew my mind because they thought that was real for a while too, and
yeah,
well, yeah, they thought that
that's what ended up getting in trouble.
There's animal killings in it, and those are legit, and that's what that. So, yeah.
I had my defense all set up because you were like, if you say Blair Witch Project, we're gonna fight.
No.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't hate it.
I love it. They had a
when I watch it.
they had like
Dramamine
again. When I was a kid, I thought it was real, but now I watched it not that long ago, and it was kind of cheesy. They actually had like a companion piece with it that was kind of set up like a documentary where they would interview the actors' parents, and they had the Burkittsville Historical Society guy talking about the history of the Blair Witch and Ellie Kedward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
remember.
I'm so like
seeing
heartbroken
that
the old PC games aren't on like GOG.com or Steam because they were janky as the time, but they were legitimately really fucking good.
Have you guys watched the last one, Blair Witch?
All right.
No, it was so what it kind of did what the new Halloween
I didn't watch
did, where like
was it considered a remake?
Oh yeah, remember Blair Witch 2? Yeah, that didn't happen. This is the real sequel. The new game's really fucking good too.
Okay, I remember a game came out in conjunction with it and stuff like that, kind of. But
yeah, I started the game, haven't got too far into it, but what I played so far, it's good. All right, my number 2.
Okay.
Is Stephen King's motherfucking It,
man?
because Tim Curry is the greatest fucking Pennywise that ever lived. So, now, here's the thing. They didn't need all that fancy fucking makeup and CGI. Tim Curry was legitimately fucking scary, and he walked around wearing his fucking clown makeup and outfit and fucking just was Pennywise the whole time. Like, these kids were like, fuck this. You know. That movie. Go ahead.
Yep. Again, the great thing with that is that was a TV movie, and it's almost on the same lines as Poltergeist and was it Jaws, where it's like they did so much without having to get gory and graphic. But it sticks with you,
right? And once again,
a TV movie.
They didn't need all that fucking fancy shit. Television. Tim Curry, like, I'm not afraid of clowns, but Tim Curry legitimately makes me afraid of occasional clowns.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, motherfuck.
Like there's that part where like his teeth get sharp and his eyes go red, and that wasn't in the script. Tim Curry could just do that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so yeah, that part was cool because they didn't need it.
Shit.
Tim Curry is an actual demon.
Fight on the show.
He just started flying around the room, turning into a giant ant creature, and they just fucking went with it.
God. I hate to say it, but is that probably the most dramatic role you've ever seen John Ritter in? I guess he's a big comedy guy, and you got John Ritter, you got Night Court, you got you don't for Harry Anderson, but yeah, it's crazy to see them in something that they're so far removed from what you think of them as.
You know,
but they pulled it off.
I'm not taking anything away from the remake here, It Chapter 1, but it does not beat the original It.
Okay. Well, you're wrong, but okay.
Okay.
All right.
Number 1, here we go. Drum roll.
All right. Well, my number 1, my favorite horror movie of all time. My personal favorite, because it might not be considered horror to somebody else, but it was my favorite movie growing up. I wore out the fucking videotape legitimately and had to buy it again.
Really?
The Lost Boys. My number 1 horror movie. My favorite of all time.
How could it not be horror? It's vampires.
And like I say, I know most people might not consider it horror, It's fucking vampires, dude.
It's like the 80s equivalent to Twilight vampires.
That's what I'm saying. It's vampires, but it's stylish vampires. And
my wife, like, to this day, my wife still fingers her pussy over that movie.
Someone was gonna fucking say that, and I figured it was gonna be you. Well, yeah, Jenny Gertz is pretty hot. So yeah, and Diane Wiest a little.
Jesus.
But no, I was a big fan of pretty much everybody in that damn movie. I mean, Kiefer Sutherland since Stand By Me, and I was 80s kid, so the Coreys, License to Drive, whatever other bullshit they were in, Goonies, loved all that stuff. And you got fucking Bill S. Preston Esquire sitting there. You can't get better. You can't get a better fucking movie. That's
my number one. And it turns out you can get a better movie than The Lost Boys, because my number one.
So, yeah. I
didn't want to say too much about it earlier, but it is probably, again, I probably wore out the tape. My DVD's like permanently almost always in the DVD player. It is John Carpenter's The Thing. And I didn't want to say too much about it earlier, but like probably the scariest moment in any horror movie for me is when it's like they're outside and they're surrounding that one guy and they all got fire. And it's just, he's like mid transformation and he's got the long fingers and he's just like screaming at him. And it pans back and it just shows you like how alone they are. And that is legitimately one of the most terrifying things in that movie for me, because it's all about the paranoia and how isolated and alone they are. And we talked about how ambiguous the ending was. We've talked about how ambiguous the ending was on multiple occasions on this show.
Right. And that's why when I brought it up in the list, I didn't want to go too much into it because I knew this was
The Thing is a reoccurring theme on here.
And the practical effects, the spider head thing, I love.
Yeah.
Not many things got me more than when I was watching this when I was younger, and he goes in with the defibrillator, and dude's chest opens up. I know I've said this on this show, I think, but I always feel bad in the very beginning when they're the dogs transforming, and they're just like the dogs are legitimately terrified. And they're just like squirting one of them with like blood, with fake blood, and I always feel fucking horrible for these dogs. Yeah, I'm probably gonna rewatch it when we're done.
Yeah, it's a great movie, man. I'm gonna rewatch that one this year because
it's so little side note, because it's that part with the dog, and
I watch it just
where I just feel terrible, and I always hate watching it. And then there's the part in Labyrinth. Have you guys seen Labyrinth?
Yeah.
So there's that part where the little baby is terrified with all these fucking goblins dancing around him, and I always feel fucking horrible for this kid who's just like, what the fuck is
all
happening?
The fucking puppets.
And David Bowie's just gyrating around the room.
He's got puppets all around him, and David Bowie's bulging his face. Okay, so since we already talked about the thing when V had it, I'm going to ask you, what do you think of the sequel? Is it? I never actually.
I don't remember. I just watched it once, and I was just like,
"This doesn't have that chick from Scott Pilgrim in it."
It is. It's them. Oh no, it's a prequel.
Okay, it's a continuation of the story, right?
It's the prequel. It's the.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. Yeah, that takes away.
They
from
end right when the first one begins, where they're shooting at that dog.
The original.
Yeah. And like the best thing about it was the paranoia and the practical effects, and just to throw all that away for like not even good CG. All right, and that is my list.
Yeah, I can't stand
All
that.
right.
Drum roll.
So
Okay, well,
here we go. So let me just say,
there you go.
dude,
V,
I'm a huge horror fan.
last one here.
I'm
Finish
a huge
strong,
horror
man.
fan, and
Finish strong.
there's so many. Like I had to actually kind of think about this list. Like, what are my tops? Because I mean, you have shit like Creep Show, fucking you have the Jason, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. There's so many great horror movies out there, but the one that will probably never leave my number one spot would be Halloween 1978.
And there we go.
That movie did not need all that fucking like extreme to it. I mean, shit, just Jamie Lee Curtis walking down the hallway, Laurie Strode just walking down the hallway, and the lightning hits, and fucking you just see the silhouette of fucking Michael standing right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's shit like that like sticks with you, because it will always give you that permanent like thought in your mind, and like what's going on around me. You know, you have shit like one of the things that scared me as a kid, The Exorcist Part 3. There's a scene where the nurse is checking the doors in the hospital, and she goes into one room, does her thing, walks out, and as she's walking down the hallway, you just see this fucking cloak thing like shoot across.
Oh yeah.
Caused me like maybe a year or 10 to constantly turn on lights as I went down hallways and shit. Okay, but fucking Halloween always has me looking over my shoulders. Always has me fucking like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That will always be my number one. I don't care what comes out.
Yeah.
But to me, Halloween, 1978, and for 1978, you're like, wow, that's an old movie, but it was so well done. It was like, hey, kudos to you, man.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
I know. There was a lot less
Yeah.
overlap than I thought there was going to be.
We all got John Carpenter on our list for horror, you know.
Yep. Well, me and V both got
I
it
think
also.
me and V both got Halloween, and then you and V
Different.
both got The Thing.
One was better than the other, but anyways.
But
Chapter 1 was better.
well, different versions, but
Man.
oh fuck, here we go. I like the both.
No, like both of them were
I read the
great.
book,
Both
and
of
I
them
was
were
just
great
waiting for a
movies,
giant
but
fucking turtle
to me,
show
the
up,
original It is way better.
I want to see Tim Curry fit his fat ass into that fridge like Bill Skarsgård did.
Dude, that's
Well, not
nice.
anymore,
Come
but
on.
back in whatever fucking year this was
Tim
made.
Curry's like wheelchair bound. He can't fucking do much of anything right now.
He's lost all his demon powers. That's why he's wheelchair bound.
He was great in so many things. Though you got, yeah. So fucking Tim Curry. I mean, you got Rocky.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Frankenfurter, great character. You got fucking Darkness from
Oh
Legend.
yeah.
Great fucking character. That's fucking Tim Curry under there. Can you believe that shit? Yep. And you got, just all his other, shit that he's done without makeup. But then you got fucking Pennywise.
The best Captain Hook.
Insane. That dude's range.
The Muppet. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. No, the dude's so good. He was on what was it, like 2 or 3 episodes of Criminal Minds? He played like the most fucking psychotic, wretched fucking killer. Dude.
Oh my god.
You want to know how much I love Tim Curry? I spent 50 cents to buy one of his records.
I'm looking it up on Spotify right now.
Can you believe that dude had a recording on top of it?
I have Christopher Lee's heavy metal album on my workout playlist.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking cool because it is like him and his deep voice, and he's singing heavy metal songs, and they're all like about raiding Saxon lands and pillaging and shit. He was 106 when he made those, wasn't he?
Christopher Lee was great, man. I like his Dracula movies probably more than. Wow, he died at 106. I think he was 104, but yeah. That dude is the only dude from the entire cast of Lord of the Rings that actually got to see J.R.R. Tolkien.
Great.
And he met him in a pub. He saw him in a pub in England. Like, he was too afraid to ask him for an autograph or anything.
Like, genuinely the most interesting. Lee, like, if anybody does a deep dive on him, the genuinely most interesting person alive, was alive.
Yeah. He was a great dude. But all right, so any honorable mentions?
Like I said, Creepshow
didn't quite just make the list, or
Creepshow
something you
1
want
and
to bring
2.
up.
I like both of those.
'Tis the season.
I like the what was it? Shudder had the remake of Creepshow. Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good.
I still need to watch
it.
That.
Was
Is it good?
Tales from the Crypt in a movie form before Tales from the Crypt.
Okay,
movie.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of. I mean, I just watched a few good movies this past couple days. Scare Farm was a pretty interesting movie. It was that campy, kind of cheesy. It's 4 friends go off to this corn maze. They get invited to the VIP section, and it's a fucking hillbilly satanic family who hunts them down.
No. I did have 3 on my honorable mentions, which were Hereditary, which I talked kind of like barely just didn't make my list. The Ring, the first one. I actually like both. Ringu was actually really fucking good.
The original or
the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah.
That was another one. I even like 2 in Leatherface.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, the original Friday the 13th.
Not enough to go on the
list
for top 10, but those are great too. So.
Yeah,
that was a great twist for that time.
So many great movies out there. That's why I said my list kind of jumps around. I mean,
hasn't seen it, but
Halloween is definitely my number one. That's never leaving its spot. And everything else kind of floats around. Something kind of comes in to play and bumps something here or there. But I mean, there's so many great horror movies out there, and what I love about horror is it can cover so many different genres. Your horror comedy, your horror action, your horror drama. I mean, everything gets added to it, but with the twist of horror.
Yeah. Well, on that note, got a few more minutes here left in the show, so we'll do the comic book club that Zach gave us. It was Kill or Be Killed. I read it, and I actually read into the next volume because I liked it. Yeah, I wanted to know what happens next, and it's a real slow kind of, not a slow story, but a slow burn, because it hits you with everything in the beginning, and then it like kind of shows you how it gets to it. So it was funny because you said it was like a doughy Punisher, and I was like, all right, I'll read it. It seemed kind of, and then you find out that
I couldn't give
like
the demon away because
shit in it.
I felt like that would be the hook.
So I liked it. So there's the basic. Yeah, that just came out of left field. So yeah, I liked it.
So
and I started
reading I
the next
really like. I didn't get finished with the for all 6.
I like that one.
With work and everything, but I'm really enjoying it. It's like that demon kind of came in. I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I'm expecting dude wearing like tight leather with his gut hanging out. He's like, we get told a doughy Punisher. I'm like, okay, it's just going to be some fucking like blacked out dude, but no, it's like definitely it caught my interest and it kind of pissed me off that I kept getting interrupted as I was reading it. So it's taken me longer, but yeah, it's definitely one that I'm going to continue on through.
Just keep reading it. There's plenty more twists with that.
Okay. Nice. All right, so for my comic book club for this one, I'm going to give you guys a choice because I don't know if you've read the one I'm going to say first, but in the theme of Halloween and everything else, I'm suggesting Jason versus Freddy versus Ash. I don't know if you guys have read it yet. If you have, I got an alternate, but in the Halloween
we're
spirit,
doing that one.
it was supposed to be. They took the screenplay
That
that
sounds
they were supposed to have for the
fucking
movie,
awesome.
and they made it into comic book form. Okay, it's I believe Boom Studios. Oh yeah, it is. So for comic book club
All right,
next week,
I'm reading that.
Freddy
I'm
versus
buying that
Jason
right
versus
fucking now.
Ash. And I think they did a sequel series, but we'll just go with the first one. So yeah, okay. Well, we got like a minute left before the thing shuts off on us. So find us on Facebook. Find us. We're on there on Twitter. It's Dark Asylum Pod at Dark Asylum Pod.
Yeah, huh?
And for Zach Winters, for Big V, I am Darkness.
So much for not having a 2-hour
Asylum
podcast.
is closed.
I know.